Hi everyone, I'm back again, this time with the storage unit. It's been a while. I had I do some punch art for cards and it was not very organised, so I needed to get organised for it. So I'm making a storage unit for them. And I'm just cutting some A4 chipboard now. And I have a cutting guide on my blog, which will be listed below the video here. And so I'm just making what I call the drawer casing. So this is what the drawers will sit in. It's probably a medium weight chipboard that I'm using. It's not real thick. As you can see there, it's going through my trimmer, not a problem. So there's the pieces, that larger piece there. What I did with my trimmer on that is I just went once down with the cutting blade and it scored it rather than cut it completely through. So now I have some hinges, and these are the 10.5 inch hinges, which I cut into three to make three 3.5 inch hinges. And I made some for the length of the drawer casings, 8 5/8 I think. And then this is it's 7.5 inches, so I cut it into four for the 1 7/8 inch hinges. And I angle them all so that it reduces the bulk where they're joining the chipboard pieces. Now these are for the 3.5 inch sides, and I'm only mitering one end of those because the other end will be open for the drawers to go through. And then these are the to join the long pieces, the 8 5/8. Now I didn't think, and I probably should have made them 8.5 inches, which would have been less wastage with the chipboard. But I was going off a template that I'd had, so I thought, well, this is what it is. So I'm now just applying these hinges. They're 1 inch wide, and I've got score tape on all of them. Yeah, so I've got all the total materials you'll need listed in the cutting guide, along with how many pieces each you need for each casing. There's going to be 8 casings, 4 on each side, which will hold 3 boxes per casing. 2 drawers, but 3 boxes. Now why I did that I don't know. So I'm really just going double speed at the moment, which is fairly well, I think is slow enough for you to see what I'm doing. It's a long video, so I do tend to speed it up down the track, but I mean you can set the speed to normal, or you know, slow it down if you need to. But I do only show you one of these because there's no point showing you the whole 8 that I do. Although I may, no, I should have put some glue in that opening where I joined the hinges, and I may show you that later on. I'm not quite sure. It just gives it more stability. Now these hinges, they're not sitting on top of each other. They're sort of like in the middle, so corner to edge. Now, the measurements that I've given you, they may differ for you given the size of the weight of your chipboard. So just bear that in mind if you decide to make it. I mean, it could be used for just about anything, any storage thing. I've got that many here that I use. And I have a desk organizer here that is getting old and crappy. So I think I might redesign that one and make another one. So that'll be another storage unit video soon. Here we go with the glue. That's what I mean by in the gutter there. Just in between the two pieces of chipboard and in the middle of the hinge. And that's one casing done. Have to make 7 more of those. Just checking that they size up okay, and I haven't shown shown you the boxes yet, but that's how they'll go in. Right, now this is what I call box 1, and it has room for 2 boxes. So I think do I call this the box casing? Drawer casings. No, box casings. Outer box, that'll do. So they're scoring on both sides. Now I'm working out how I'm cutting and folding it. So the thing is, what you do to one side, you do the same to the opposing side. Well, maybe not in this case, because this box has got a lid. Why it has, I don't know, because as I'm using it, excuse me, I'm finding it in the road annoying. So I may cut it down and just fold it over so it strengthens the outer casing there. So that's what that should look like cut. Now I'm mitering or just cutting a wedge where those tags will slide in, fold in, and they're a bit too long, so I'm just cutting them down a bit because I don't want them overlapping to create bulk. Okay, now we're ready to glue. And I use wet glue for this. It's a lot friendlier. There's room for movement and making sure that you get it straight. So I'm just marking them here for my benefit and yours, that that's where the glue goes. Because it can get confusing the amount of times you do it. You'd think you'd get used to it, but no. So I'm using Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in the fine liner bottle. And they go on the inside of the boxes. Burnish well. And make sure your back and side edges line up. Now, see that front flap there? I cut it down because you'll see later. Now, this is well, there are two inside boxes that go in this outer drawer. So I'm just scoring those now. Yeah, I had an inch on that outer box for the insertion for the closure of the lid, but I had to cut it down to half an inch. So you'll see that later. But this is a different, it's sort of like an origami box. Folds up where you really don't need any glue, but I do add the glue. Yep, I've realised I've scored the wrong area. So what I do is I go over that and score it on the opposite side and erase that original line and then redo the new line. That gets very confusing when you're folding it up. So just be mindful. Yeah, I was just thinking I wanted to get these tabs to be folded inside the long edge rather than the shorter edge. I'm just trying to work out how to do that. And this is where I mentioned earlier what you do to one side, you do the same to the opposing side. Seems a lot of waste, but you can use those little little pieces for other things, probably for your punch art. Now, what I do when I'm cutting these is I cut inside the mountain ridge when you've scored it on hmm, on the pieces that are not the tags, so the bigger pieces. Alright, so this is how it works. We've got to wedge, straighten up these edges first so they don't overhang and impede the closure of the box. Now you may want to just do the same size box all around, and that's fine. I don't know for what reason I wanted the two boxes in the one drawer and then a box in another drawer per casing. I have no idea. It just happened that way. It's probably good in that some of the pieces I may need the whole drawer, the whole box one drawer, and so I'd take those two inside boxes out. Which I have done for one thing, and you'll see that when we do the video. Yeah, when I show you the completed project. So that sort of folds in on itself like that. No glue. But I do put glue on it. Yep, making sure that those tabs don't overlap when they're lined up. Again, what I do is I make sure that those side edges meet up, line up correctly. I think I only had to refill that fine liner bottle once during this, so that wasn't too bad. Goes a long way when you get it, when you use that fine liner bottle. Alright, looks like I didn't glue those longer pieces, so what I've done is cut a piece big enough to slot in there and hold it all down. And it was actually the size of the box, less a millimetre or two. So it sits in there without any bulging. So I always measure first before I start adding the glue. And that should hold it down anyway. So, I mean, I end up using glue on all the flaps and sides. However, it's not necessary because I put that inside piece in anyway. Insert. So now we're doing what? We're doing the outer drawer for the singular box. Yep, see I stuffed up that scoring line, so erased it and did it again correctly. Here you'll see again I still have the 1 inch flap for the closure of the box, but I do cut that down to 1/2 inch. So I have updated the cutting guide to reflect the new size. So those sections that I've completely cut out, they're the ones for the lid. The other sections are the sides and the tabs and the back or front. Just cutting down to those score lines and see how I've tested there to see how much overlapping it had. So then I've cut it down accordingly. And you'll notice I'm keeping those larger pieces, throwing away the little pieces. So here's where I cut that 1 inch flap closure down to half an inch. Alright, now to glue it up. Holding box, I call these. The ones that hold the inner box. Yeah, one of the tabs wasn't cut straight, so it overhung. So I'm just cutting that off. Alright, now what are we doing? Doing the inside box for the box one. Yeah, the larger box. It should be 1A and 1B. Now the inside boxes are made the same, they're just different sizes. So the inside boxes that fit in the larger holding drawer are smaller than the inside box that fits in the holding box number 2. Yeah, what I'm trying to do here is strengthen. No, I'm not. I was trying to put the tabs, I think, on one on each section. but it didn't work. But what it is putting it on the long side, which strengthens it. Again, check those tabs that they don't overlap. Cut them down to size if necessary. I mean, you could probably have done away with me making another of the same sort of box, different size, but it's the same procedure. Oh well. I'll probably show you that I glue extra areas of this one. Yep. Doesn't need much glue. Yep, you need to really burnish it well. Just reinforce those folds. Alright. I'm going to have to change that because that was the inner box for box 2. Okay. Now I'm selecting the papers for the drawer fronts. I think this is Paper Mania, um, some sort of wedding paper. I liked it. It was nice and bright. So the drawer fronts there's one per drawer. So there's 8 larger ones and 8 smaller ones. So this is a 5.5 by 1 7/8. Now I'm gluing using Aleene's tacky here. A glue stick is sufficient for this. If you put on some score tape around the edges, I end up doing that down the track, but at the moment I've just done that. Again, cutting sizes are all in the document that's linked in the description below this video. It's on my blog. While you're there, check out all the other storage units that I've made and see if there's any that you'd like to try. So I'm just finding the center of this drawer front because I'm using those metal file tabs. I can't remember what they're called, label tags. And these I think were from Kaisercraft. They may be a mix of Kaisercraft and Tim Holtz, who knows. So they take 2 brads. So what do I got? 2, 4, 6, 8. I've got 16 of these file tabs, 32 brads. I end up making a template, which made it easier, out of chipboard, to position the brad holes. Yeah, here I go. I'm using glue again. It's much easier to use score tape for this purpose, I think. Just like covering a book. Now I don't cover it all because obviously you won't see the inside back of that drawer pull, drawer facing, drawer front. I think I call it drawer front. I've been working on this for probably 3 days. It's taken me in between everything, and I've got so many different measurements in my head that as I'm now editing, well, voice-overing and editing, yeah, I'm a bit confused. I apologise. Alright, I'm going to use my crocodile and punch these holes. And I just use I think it's the 1/8 inch hole. Yeah, I couldn't see it. Okay. I don't think I had all the same colour of the metal file tabs, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm securing these in and it's stupid, so because I've got to attach that to the drawer, the box, the holding box. Okay, so this is box 1 holding box. The inside boxes are box 1 inner boxes. Okay, so just making sure that looks okay. I think it's exactly the same length as the boxes, well, as the box. But once you put the pattern paper on, it just has that little bit extra room. I'm just lined it up and poking the holes through this way. Now this is where I meant that extra cardstock that we got rid of when we were cutting the boxes. Oh, hang on, I'll tell you in a minute. I forgot again that I had to glue it first. Probably wouldn't have hurt to put a couple of bulldog clips on there while I'm attaching the file tab, label, whatever it's called. Right, so you see where the brad prongs are inside that, so that they won't catch on the inside boxes. What I did was put some glossy accents to secure the brads in place so they don't come out or come undone easily. And then those excess pieces we cut off the boxes when we folded and cut them out. Those I used for inside to cover those naked prongs. So I think it's 5.5 inches. So I cut a piece that was about, I don't show it here. I've only got a little bit on it there, but I do cut a piece of cardstock that's 5.25 inches long by about 1.25 inches high. So just making sure I've covered those prongs. There we go. That's the first one done. Yeah, the drawer fronts are not covering the raw chipboard there of the casings, but I don't mind. You could probably paint those or cover them. I couldn't be bothered. Alright, so I've glued this on the back. Don't know how. And I normally put the score tape on first before I cut the corners. Obviously haven't made the template as yet. Just winging it here. Right, still using glue. And this is the drawer front for holding box number 2. Don't know what's going on here. Lost the brads. No. Yeah, don't do as I'm doing here. Putting that drawer front on more to the right side. They should be centered on each of the drawer fronts. I end up changing this. Being a bit of a Peter. Again, adding the glossy accents for strength. I decided to get out the score tape for this one. Now, really, because the glossy accents is on the middle of where this is going to sit, I wouldn't put 3 pieces of tape on there. I'd just do one on each edge. Bit of an overkill, Jen. And there we go. Yep. I did fix that, so just put the drawer fronts centered on the holding box drawers. Okay, so here I'm going, just adhering this down. I would have just used, having done, if I do it again, I'd use just a glue gun to attach to the paper. A glue gun? Oh, glue stick. And again, I didn't put the score tape on first. Oh, I'm using glue again. There's my template that I've done. It's a bit repetitive, this process. But sometimes I enjoy that. Yeah, don't put the glue on the drawer front, put it on the front of the holding box, because it's not all getting covered. Well, the drawer front doesn't cover, extends past the front of that drawer holding box. Looking for the pin. Can't find the score tape. I'm forever looking for stuff. And here oh no, I put 3 strips on. I eventually go down to 2. Now you might ask why I have got a box inside a box. Good question. I think just for strength, and also I can take the individual box out rather than the whole drawer and sit it on my desk if I'm working on it. There we go, 2 done. There's 4 done. So now I'm gluing 2 of the casings together. And this is a time-consuming job because you have to. It's awkward trying to get all the clamps on and in place without ruining the boxes, the casings, because they're only lightweight chipboard, lightweight, medium weight, and clamps are fairly strong. So at first I do the outside edges, or where the openings are, with some bulldog clips and some small clamps. And then I bring in the big guns for the back. Had to raid Hub's workshop for these. Yeah, and be mindful that it is wet glue for a while, and your boxes may move once you start to clamp them. So double check, triple check that they haven't moved. So you have to do this 4 times and then glue the 2 lots of 2 together twice and then the 2 lots of the 4 together. So while you're working on those boxes and casings and all that, be aware that the worst part of it's to come. Alright, there's one. Boxes still fit in there, little drawers. Right. I show you number 2 as well? Surely not. I'm using Allemande tacky glue for this process. I think I used Scotch Quick Dries for the first time, but I gave up and went and got another bottle of Allemande tacky glue because the others just wasn't doing it for me. They weren't flowing freely. This glue gun helper tool, it's just a silicone spatula that Really helps in working with glue, smoothing it out, spreading it out, then it just peels off. So here I'm putting the two together, the two lots of two. So this is one side. And I think I had to get larger clamps for this. Yep, I had to go and get large clamps. And these were a pain in the butt to use too. Okay, they're done. Looks pretty good. Okay, now we have to put these two together. Just testing the size of the clamp. Leaving the drawers in this time. I make sure I put glue on all the edges and in the joins of each casing, each of the four casings where they join together. Yeah, I don't think you can buy those hot glue gun helpers anymore. It came with some um, finger protectors like thimbles and a sort of a pencil looking um, stick to hold things down without burning yourself when using hot glue. Had them for years. Tried to find some more for hubby when he wanted some silicone spatulas for just tiny ones for his guitar building when he's gluing. Yep, I also wanted to put it in the middle. Usually it should take a couple of hours. Well, not even. I think I might have left it an hour sometimes. Alright, so I didn't show you covering these um, pieces that I used for the top and bottom and sides. It's pretty much the same as I did with the others. I just adhered the chipboard down with a glue stick, then put some score tape around the edges and folded them over so the edges are all covered, and then glued it down. See how that glue just peels straight off. Again, important to spread the glue around, making sure it's on all those outside edges. Alright, see, that's that covered piece there. The sizes are in the cutting guide. So now all I did with this, I don't think I clamped it. Surely I didn't. I think I just, oh, I may have clamped it and then put some books on top. Well, I've got the clamps. May as well use them. See, they just fall off. Pain in the butt they were. Because I don't want to clamp them too tightly because it is only cardboard. But it withstood it very well. Yeah, took the top drawers out so that I could clamp with some bulldog clips. And you see the boxes came, well, the drawers came out quite easily. Stinking clamps. Don't think I had enough to do the other side. Oh, don't tell me I'm showing you. Okay, we've done the bottom, now we're doing the top. Oops, Jen. Forgot to spread the glue. Yeah, try not to glue the drawers together to the outside. Mhm. Okay. Top and bottom done. Now we do the sides. Yep, decided there I needed to put some books on there. Some weight. Alright, while it's drying, I just took some craft text. I think it was 6 inches by 3/4 inches, and just painting it with some Mars Black acrylic paint. Just gave it a couple of coats. Rounded the edges, the corners, 1/4 inch rounder. And now, because I just did that after I painted it, I need to paint it again so that the areas where I chomped are covered with the black paint. I also paint the other side because it does stick up a bit, the handle, so you will notice it. Alright, so I decided to strengthen it to seal it. I put some matte medium over the top of them, both the top and the bottom. Now I'm just punching some holes in there for the brads. Just winging it, not measuring it. Right, the box is all dried. Now, this is going on the top, which is that side. So I have to find the center, and I'm putting it so that the brads go in the opening sides so that I can cover them up. A centering ruler, and you'd think it'd be hard. Shouldn't be. It'd be quite easy, Jen. Alright, so I think I came in about an inch, because the depth of it would be about 7 inches. Looks a bit more than an inch, maybe an inch and a half, inch and a quarter. Yeah, these are much bigger brads than the ones I used for the drawer fronts. So I had to make that hole just slightly bigger. See, that's the reason. So I could get in there and spread the prongs and put the glossy accents on, and then this strip to cover them. Do the same to the other side. Sorry, off camera. work's a treat. So now I've got a couple of strips of pattern paper just to cover up those open prongs, so to protect the drawers. And there'll be how wide your prongs are and how long apart they are, so you can sort that out. Don't like that top drawer, how it bows. Just populating it now with the drawers that it's all done. Oh, except for populating it with the punch art. That was fun. Done. So I'd say about 3 days it took me, including the drying time. With all the clamps. Now you could probably put it on a Lazy Susan, like a spinner, but the handle worked just fine. So here I am just showing you completed. I've populated it, some of it. Labelled it. So each section I've got what punch art piece is used in the actual character. Around the other side I've got the googly eyes. Yeah, so in each pocket there are the pieces that are used. So there's a pocket for the eyes, the body, whatever. And when I get bored one day and my mojo's gone, I can just numbly punch away pieces. Oh, and that's when I took the inside boxes out. Let's think more I've got to put together in my catalogue, which I show you next. So very happy with it. So this is my catalogue. One of. I'll probably have to start another folder soon. So this is an owl, and these are all the pieces which I've used and what punches they are. Oops. And how I get them. So that one, how I make the scalloped, curved scallop. So that shows me how I do that. And then after that, on the back of it, I have another piece. Oh, there's the completed owl as well. So that shows you how to put it together. And then we've got a ladybug on that side. And then in this sleeve is all the colours I use for the owl, and the one after is all the colours that I use for the ladybug. And then the next one, I've got a Santa gift tag. I've got some stray pieces in there. I must put those in my organiser now. So that's the completed gift tag. And you've got everything else that's used. How to put it together. And then there's all the papers I use for the Santa gift card. And there's the lion, and then Elmo and Oscar the Grouch. So the lion, Elmo, and then Oscar the Grouch. And then we have a bunny rabbit and a frog. So there's the bunny rabbit sleeve and the frog sleeve. Then we've got Cookie Monster and Big Bird. And yep, Cookie Monster papers are there, or cardstock, and then Big Birds. Now, this is a snail, and they're the Ninja Turtles. So the snail has a lot of components, and oh, okay, yeah, I had these in the wrong place. This is the inside of a card. If I use the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but for the snail, that would be the sentiment. Sorry I'm late. Hope your birthday was great. So that should go in the snail. Come on, Jen, get back. Get with it. Yep, that goes in for the snail, and then we take the Ninja Turtles one out and put it in the Ninja Turtles pocket. Because I just printed those onto cardstock from the computer, so they go in there. So then I don't have to redo the whole thing again. So that's it. Yeah, and they're in order of where they are in the drawers, so, well, they're all labelled anyway, as you can see there. Well, the start of. So there you go, guys. Sorry it was such a long video, but hope it helped. If you have any questions, just ask away here in the comments or send me an email. And yeah, the cutting guide will be linked in the description below this video if you want to make it. If there's any mistakes, please let me know and I'll fix it ASAP. Alright, guys. Don't know what's coming up next. Not Well, I do have a little project which may come to fruition. Not quite sure. See how it goes, putting it together. Alright, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, guys.